waking up one morning to discover that two nations, once considered close allies, have become bitter enemies. For more than 4 decades, the relationship between the United States and Iran has been defined by distrust, secret operations, hostage crises, sanctions, proxy wars, and the constant fear that one wrong move could ignite a much larger conflict. But this story didn't begin with missiles. It didn't begin with nuclear weapons. And it didn't begin with terrorism. It began with oil. A single decision made over 70 years ago would reshape the Middle East forever and create one of the most dangerous rivalries in modern history. This is the story of how friendship turned into hostility and how the consequences are still being felt around the world today. In the early 20th century, Iran was one of the world's most strategically important nations. Its enormous oil reserves attracted the attention of global powers, especially Britain, whose companies controlled much of Iran's oil industry. Many Iranians believed their country's natural wealth was enriching foreign nations while ordinary citizens remained poor. Then, in 1951, everything changed. Iran elected a new Prime Minister, Mohammad Mossadegh. A passionate nationalist, Mossadegh believed Iran should control its own resources. His government nationalized the country's oil industry, ending British dominance over Iranian oil. For millions of Iranians, it was a proud declaration of independence. But for Britain, it was an economic disaster. As Cold War tensions intensified, British leaders feared Iran could become unstable. They turned to an increasingly powerful ally, the United States. Washington worried that political chaos might allow the Soviet Union to expand its influence into Iran, placing one of the world's richest oil regions closer to communist control. In 1953, British intelligence and the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency carried out a covert operation to remove Mossadegh from power. The coup succeeded. Prime Minister Mossadegh was arrested. Iran's young monarch, Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, returned with stronger authority than ever before. For American policymakers, the operation appeared to secure a reliable ally. For many Iranians, however, it became a symbol of foreign interference that would never be forgotten. During the following decades, the Shah transformed Iran. With strong American political, military, and economic support, he launched ambitious modernization programs. New highways connected growing cities. Factories expanded. Universities multiplied. Women gained greater access to education and many professions. The country experienced rapid economic growth fueled by rising oil revenues. To many in Washington, Iran appeared to be a model partner in the Middle East, a stable government protecting Western interests during the Cold War. But beneath the surface, discontent was growing. Many Iranians believed modernization came at the cost of their traditions and political freedoms. Critics accused the Shah's government of suppressing opposition through the feared intelligence service, SAVAK. Political opponents, religious leaders, and activists often faced arrest, imprisonment, or censorship. At the same time, wealth from Iran's booming oil industry was seen by many as being distributed unevenly. As frustration spread, opposition groups with very different ideologies found themselves united by one goal. The Shah had to go. Among the most influential voices was a religious scholar living in exile, Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. Through recorded speeches and written messages circulated inside Iran, Khomeini criticized the Shah's rule and condemned what he viewed as excessive foreign influence over Iran's affairs. His message resonated with millions. By 1978, demonstrations filled Iran's streets. Protests grew larger each month. Workers organized nationwide strikes. Government institutions struggled to function. Despite attempts to restore order, public anger continued to rise. In January 1979, the Shah left Iran. Officially, it was for medical treatment and temporary rest. In reality, many understood that his reign had come to an end. Only weeks later, Ayatollah Khomeini returned from exile. Millions of supporters flooded the streets to welcome him home. The images stunned the world. Within months, Iran's monarchy, one of the oldest continuous monarchies in history, had collapsed. A national referendum established the Islamic Republic of Iran. The country's political system was fundamentally transformed. For the United States, the loss of one of its closest regional allies represented a major strategic setback. But an even greater crisis was only months away. In November 1979, a group of Iranian students stormed the U.S. Embassy in Tehran. Dozens of American diplomats and staff members were taken hostage. The students argued they feared another foreign-backed attempt to influence Iran's future, pointing to the 1953 coup as evidence of past intervention. What they expected to last only a short time evolved into an international crisis that continued for 444 days. Night after night, television broadcasts showed anxious American families waiting for news. The hostage crisis dominated headlines, reshaped U.S. domestic politics, and cemented mutual distrust between Washington and Tehran. The alliance that had once linked the two nations was over. In its place stood suspicion, anger, and a rivalry that would define Middle Eastern geopolitics for generations. And this was only the beginning.